Come on, football, go, go! Oh, come on, play football!
Well, here we are. Is Dan Harmon, Justin Roiland,
Jeffrey Thompson.
and last but not least, over in the corner.
Oh, Jesus. He's a visionary. He was immersed in his own story.
I thought someone was saying everyone's name, and then I thought they forgot my name.
No.
That guy that went down the elevator was a spot-on drawing of Mike McMahon. I guess I wrote this one. I mean, we all write all of them, but I'm credited as writing this one, which means I ruined it.
No.
I had been harping all season about how I wanted the president to become like Lieutenant, what's his name from Doctor Who? I thought it was cool that in the Tom Baker Doctor Who season there was this British like lieutenant who would occasionally call Doctor Who to like fight the Loch Ness monster or some shit like. And then I guess we threw me a bone with this story. We didn't know it was going to end up being the finale. We thought this was going to be like 4 episodes from the finale.
Yeah.
We really liked the idea of Rick and Morty getting sick of, working for the president, having already worked for him, because we were already so sick of my idea by the time we were doing it that became the thing.
I mean, also the low-stakes nature of the president's requests, like a Guga and like these guys.
Yeah, I did want to see that moment where it's like when someone finally says to Rick and Morty, like, you're under arrest. You can't do that. This country won't allow you to do that. And I mean, just to not to box us in, but rather the opposite, to establish, as you might have imagined, that Rick is not accountable to any form of terrestrial government. He's already taken out the galaxy's government. The thing I don't think I ever got a handle on was like, well, then why? Why this relationship? We went back and forth between like, oh, he's doing it as a favor to Morty because Morty likes working for the president, or he likes the president, and all of that shit just kind of fell apart. I think the crown jewel of this episode is the incredible fight sequence between the president and Rick that, lo and behold, if you stop holding up the script and just let the artist do a board-driven sequence of 5 minutes of guys fighting in a sci-fi show, that it's fucking awesome. And I'll never forget that lesson. Season 4 is going to have a lot of board-driven fights.
Those are fun sequences to do.
Is this game popular with
I would imagine. I mean,
because I'm starting to love it.
Failure to
for the right director, that's like heaven. Just be able to stage something like that out.
We're holding all the cards right now. We don't.
Can we turn the This is part of the commentary you guys are gonna get to hear. Can we turn the volume down just a tiny bit on the show?
On the episode?
On the episode. Is that crazy?
No.
Maybe it's just my personal headphones. Oh Jesus! Sorry.
Yeah,
oh boy. Split the difference.
Okay.
Okay.
This was sort of patterned after I don't know. It's like it's part conversation with a
That's pretty cool.
with a lover that you're breaking up with. Part like weird collaboration. I mean, I was like funneling some of like it was the end of the season, and I think I was mad at Justin.
What?
And I somehow
Everyone was mad at everyone.
I was mad at you guys. You didn't listen to my pitch about I wanted the president to swing his dick around in every other scene from the waist down.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let me do that.
You mean wait later when he has no pants, or just as a Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we wanted to. We just had to be the messenger of the bad news that
I wasn't hearing anything. I wrote this episode from my bed on a laptop like Brian Wilson over like 3 months of everyone saying, "What are you doing?"
I was mad at you, Jeffrey. You shot down my pitch to have Beth wearing yoga pants and an exercise bra throughout the episode because she's separated from Jerry now. She's pursuing a new life.
Yeah, she's exploring her femininity.
Right, yeah. My mistake. Looking back, I think I really should have given that more thought.
Now, you should own up to you put your foot down for a good reason. By the way, Jeffrey Thompson is art director, season 3 art director. We didn't give credits.
I was in charge of making that phone very large.
Now, I know what you're thinking at home. You're like, if he's the art director, what is Wes? It's a cartoon. If you're directing, and the whole thing's made of art.
That song was a quick little snippet of what was supposed to sound like breakup, or not even breakup, but just melancholy.
I'll say. I couldn't stand you for more than
I guess sort of breakup music. Like it does its job.
Yeah. We saved $50,000 on. Oh no, I'm not gonna say what song we didn't use because then they could sue us maybe. But
we started to realize, oh wait a minute, we can just have fun and make songs and they're great. And
yeah, sometimes you really need a needle drop, like the Joe Walsh song
Yes.
in the Citadel episode.
Yeah.
And because sometimes you're really going to need it, you should always ask yourself, what do I really like about this song I want to use, and is it funnier if I make my own?
yeah.
So the Beth story, even though it's the B story, is the more important story because it ends our season on a cliffhanger as such. That was, I don't want to demystify the show, but you're listening to commentary on a cartoon, so you're
Demystified.
You want to know how the sausage is made. Caution, it may make you enjoy it less to know that we don't know what we're doing all the time.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do 14 episodes of this season. We fucked up. We ended up having to turn this episode into a finale at some point while we were making it, while the artists were drawing it. I love that the final step, by the way, is a lighter.
Minecraft.
The portal, the United States portal makes no sense. I mean, the one thing that kind of bugs me is that Rick uses it too, and then it starts with helicopters flying.
The absurdity of, like, why not just drop him off?
Well,
like,
but actually, I guess that makes sense. Like Rick,
he's just lazy. He's like,
he doesn't. Yeah, he's gonna have a drink.
He's like, you guys fucking I don't want to travel.
I take that back. It makes perfect sense.
I'm gonna play Minecraft while you guys fucking hustle and get me a teleporter.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was a point creatively I thought it was interesting. Like Justin and I. This is like Justin leading the dance on typically Rick and Morty are going to have different points of view, and that's how you kind of arc out your episode. And Justin, I don't want to say was insistent, but it was just like Justin was like coaxing and saying like, what if they were just of the same mind for this story? Like they're Rick and Morty. What if they just both felt the same way? They're both sick of the president's bullshit, and. I'd push back, but then I'd go, oh wait, no, you're right, and then I'd write some of it, and I'd go like, God damn it, it's really hard. It's really hard to write Rick and Morty as being on the same page, but they are in this episode for a while, and then it's just Morty is going like, what's wrong with you? And I think that's a ball dropped on my part because.
No, I mean, I think where it happens is good. I just I like to see the two characters on the same page and yes-anding each other every once in a while. It's kind of fun. It's interesting. It's like it's a different kind of tone, comedically when they're sort of like, I don't know. It's interesting to me that.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of Cheech and Chong in this episode, but when Cheech tells Chong what to do, they're less high. I don't know. But I do love this stuff. I love that we've found yet another way to basically fuck with the age-old question that Justin and I are obsessed with, which is everything we're experiencing real at all? And how would you ever know how to answer that question?
Okay.
If you were programmed to ask that question.
I were a clone. Would you tell me?
I'd like to thank whoever wrote in this stripper T-Rex that's coming in a second for giving me the opportunity to really tap into my art direction dreams. Was that a board note, Wes? It's coming up in a second in the corner.
Was that in the script?
I think it came up in character design.
By the way, there's a character smoking.
No.
Okay, glad I could help. See you soon.
Where do I go? What does this? What does this
The
mean?
fucking ripped president.
And park. Then say that.
I love this fucking beat. Harmon's beat. This is you're like very specific.
Because when I don't know what to
stepped
do,
out. It's so good.
When I don't know what to do, sometimes you just slow down and step it out because you're like, well, the president's pulling. So what happens when you pull up?
But
a car?
it's also such a great relatable like human moment that everyone's lived.
Drink instantly and teleport.
And the irony of it happening in this weird little world.
Who's this doing the voice?
Tara Strong.
I get confused between Tara and Cassie.
Steele?
Yeah, which I hope doesn't offend them. But like, can you give us a primer on? Because they're both like our utility female voices.
Well, no. So Kari Wahlgren is like total utility on the show. Cassie's the voice of Tammy and Trisha Lang now, and then a couple of other odds and ends. But all of the sort of.
Apparently,
and this is also Tara Strong.
Took them to a Star Wars cantina where
but yeah, Tara and Kari have been doing voices like across the board all for a while.
I guess our definitions of utility are different, and we found out I'm either sexist or a sociopath.
What?
Well, I'm like, if they're not playing Beth or Summer, I think we didn't talk further.
But did y'all see that pixelized dick?
So Wes, you wanted that dick flopping around a lot.
We probably could have fought for it. We probably could have made it happen.
I just made that up. I don't think you you wouldn't have remembered anyway, but it could have been real. I could have asked.
You could make up anything, yeah.
You know, but I thought it.
I have a question. This segment, when we were posting,
Honestly, I could take it or leave it at this point.
You're taking it.
No.
this was rough because
Get out of my office.
Seriously, you're that
where was the
stubborn?
moment?
The stubborn one. I'm protecting my country.
Basically, like I gave you Act 1, and you guys were making Act 1, and I was like hoarding Act 2 in my bedroom, like Brian Wilson, and like I kept just, and then.
You have a right to refuse
But
his order.
there's a moment where they all.
There's no afterlife. Everything
They
is
all
black. Don't do it.
Oh no! I think it already happened.
Death.
What?
Instant.
There was no sound.
Did they all enter the room?
Where they enter the room and they go.
It's called a deterrent.
You couldn't just
They're all
knock him
hut,
out.
hut, but they're saying like code red, or whatever.
Yeah.
He wants to be dead.
And he's like, "We get it, guys. We get it. It's a code blue."
All right.
I don't need a
And the timing wasn't right because the boards weren't
Yes. No.
following the
Disagree,
joke,
because
and
you think you're getting
it was in
killed.
color, and it was like, "Fuck, we can't. How can we fix this?"
Never leaving.
Exactly.
See?
Does anyone have a shot?
Yes.
And are they not saying Code Red the whole time now?
But I wouldn't recommend. God, you are dumb.
Get the president out of here.
Bad idea.
Wait. Why?
Because if there isn't someone in here that they're not supposed to kill.
Yeah, we did some effects there with the
as long as you live, no matter where you are,
bouncing
if it isn't
off.
a selfie with him, I'll be here.
Chief,
Anyways,
not a fucking
how interesting is that little comment?
I'm Doctor Who in this motherfucker. I could be a clone.
Yeah, this is.
Hologram.
I like this cover. This is my favorite.
Controlled with special head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The thing about his mom.
yeah. Just knows everything.
12 Olive Street.
Is that her address?
You don't
He doesn't know his mom's address,
Take him down.
so Rick could be lying.
Number 3, the Twister.
And that's the one thing that would make Rick vulnerable to just getting hit with a phone. Is that he was fully. He just like, I'm gonna fuck this guy's mind,
Yeah, I know his mom's address.
or I don't. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah, and
convince him I do.
he's like, is that her address?
Rude. I came to you for help, and now I'm insulting your intelligence. We're intelligent.
So this moment coming up, the story with Jerry, was this pulled from any personal moment? Because it felt so specific with the Snickers wrapper or whatever candy wrapper was happening.
Yeah, the Milwaukee.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Mike McMahon was a big help on this. Like maybe he might have even written like a draft of the scene, or it was he and I talking about how this should work. Like,
I took you on a date.
no, it's not really. I mean, maybe every date I ever had. on some level, but
to guide the lava into a cul-de-sac, I realized
it's the specificity of the moment, but it needed to be that way, you know.
Just trying to remember when you were 17. I just it all came down to such granular detail, and that's the thing about this relationship is that they got pregnant at a stage of life when you're just getting used to touching girls, and vice versa. Like, and so that raises every question about whether you should be together and all this stuff. Like, and so now she's coming back to him and going like,
I'll never forget that feeling.
And
You're the real thing.
She's either not a clone and realizing that all of that was life and wasn't her life getting waylaid, or she's a clone and she's like
honest,
predisposed to more satisfaction.
This isn't the woman you married, Jerry, because this woman loves you.
Yeah, she's really won over here. Either way.
So that's my favorite part of this episode is the Beth story and whether she's a clone or not. So can you shed light on when you developed that?
It was
idea?
it was honestly us being 4 episodes short of a finale and having to figure out how the episode where he works for the president is a finale, and the answer was we didn't want to do a cliffhanger with the president and all this shit.
No,
because it would be too similar but lower stakes than the last cliffhanger. So not that we wanted to do a cliffhanger, but we focused on the B story and said, how could this be finale worth?
Yeah, and we had teed it up, the episode before, so. But yeah, I remember talking about this in the writer's room quite a bit, the Beth clone bit, and just all the jokes associated with it, and just feeling really, really excited about it. And
what you're watching right now is the result of me giving up, hoarding the episode script on my laptop and saying, like, it's like in the meantime, they know the president's going to fight Rick. And so the artists are like, there's always like a civil war underneath the surface. Writers and artists, they think differently. They overlap in some ways and not in others. There's some shows are board driven, some shows aren't. But like, this was a great experience for me because it was like, just let the fucking artist take over on a regular rhythm, It doesn't have to be the whole show's board-driven or the whole show's script-driven. Like, do this tango.
Yeah.
Twirl each other to the center of the dance floor and then let everybody do their thing.
It's good to have that sequence.
But I stole your...
Yeah, I mean...
Or two.
That was Anthony Chun, right?
Yeah, Anthony Chun directed this episode.
Yeah. And of course the team,
He did some really great choreography and composition.
Action. He's got a pretty deep history in doing action stuff, and I just love all of the fun stuff you guys threw in with. I mean, we had pitched all the jokes of like the hooker. McKinley hooker dump and all that stuff, but it's all there. Everything's there. Everything's in there. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, all my years of watching YouTube conspiracy documentaries finally paid off.
Yeah,
I love that. By the way, I love the beat in the background in that previous scene of Jerry trying to light a match. Like, that was. Yeah. Did you write that? Was that just like fucking?
I didn't
do that. Like, so brilliant because it's like he's in the background trying to light a match, and then Beth lights it, and then he walks away, and then he comes back. And it's out, and it's so good.
It's the kind of stuff that just kind of comes up.
I mean, that's just such a like. When I saw that for the first time, I was so happy.
See them this whole time, right?
Don't push it, Sanchez.
See, this scene is where you see me dropping the ball because there would be a conclusion here that made sense, and really, this is just two guys going whatever.
Well, no, but there is a final kind of wrap up beat.
Yeah, but it's all kind of whatever.
Hey man, don't beat yourself up.
Well, that's what I do.
If you're my dad. Of course, you're not my dad. You're here with a gun because I'm a clone. I guess I have all your daughter's memories, so I guess I was her, which...
Season finale.
Morty put on his special cabin sweater, but no one else changed their outfit.
Yeah, it was like a cross between we need to get the fuck out of here and also
time to go.
We're going on vacation. Yeah.
Are there like infinite timelines? Can't you just move to one?
Mount Hill.
It's
funny.
Yeah, that was definitely just first pitch.
Somewhere else.
Beth, you crazy bitch! You're my daughter. I brought this here to kill Jerry.
Oh, my
Jesus
God.
Christ!
Yeah. You win, Jerry. You win. No amount of genius can stop.
I get a lot of questions about Beth. I've noticed lately, and my answer is Schrodinger's cat, bro.
For you to say that.
We haven't even looked in that box.
Let's get out of here.
I'm staying here.
Yeah, we got as many plans as you do. If you're a super fan, then you got theories, and so do we.
God, yeah, it's great to be able to say that and be honest. It's like, yeah, we haven't made that choice.
Yeah, you're smart people, so you've probably come up with some better theories, worse theories, overlapping theories, whatever. But then we sit down and we start writing, and what becomes canon becomes canon. But
Never understood what Secretary of the Interior.
Just like how Morty's vegan. Canon. Just kidding.
We Ricks travel the infinite and switch places with each other.
I love that line read, by the way.
Secretary of Interior.
Yeah, that was Nolan.
Or wait, I think he could have done it faster.
Was that Nolan?
I could be of service if you ever find the planet to be in danger. Friends?
Sounds
This didn't play as well as I...
Well, it's a little... like, for some people it lands...
In the original version, and we cut it short, there's a guy in the corner that comes forward who's the Secretary of Game and Fishing or something,
Yeah.
and says, that's
the same... Yeah, it's a bit more...
Yeah.
But for those folks out there, that's the same Rick. Or no, he said something like, fly fishing people don't wear...
Yeah...
A shoot.
I mean, the only purpose that would have served is to just clarify that was Rick, and the president knew, and they were playing this like we're gonna both just play dumb on this, and it's easier for our egos to
look. Sometimes you're out of your mind and you write a cartoon, and thank God people don't watch the script; they watch the result of 100 people working on it. And, sometimes those people are lifting you while you're out of your goddamn mind. And to them, I say thank you for this episode, because we pulled a finale out of our ass mid tumble, and I'm very proud of our family.
It was a pretty dark little moment.
I wanted this to be funnier. I wanted to have jokes in it. And did you notice that because there's no jokes in it, he makes a reference to Santa Claus beard, and it's because there's no jokes in it that everyone goes oh, there's going to be a special episode at Christmas.
Oh God! Well, you can't. He could have said anything, and people would have started having. I mean, that April Fool's stunt really set a kind of strange precedent for disappointing people in the future. All right, see ya next season.